This is the YoyoFriends shortcut. This is one of the most recent releases from YoyoFriends, a company that's no stranger to the yo-yo community with their high-quality premium yo-yo offerings to the market. The shortcut is a different kind of release and actually a first one for YoyoFriends, as it is their way to break into the affordable monometal market, which is a subsector of the market that I personally think is highly competitive. So it will be interesting to see what a brand like YoyoFriends brings to the table with the shortcut. I shall also mention that this yo-yo was kindly sent by YoyoFriends for review purposes. Now, to talk about the material construction and the specs of this yo-yo. This is a single material yo-yo, machined from 6061 aluminum. This yo-yo is available in one finish for every colorway, which is a very smooth matte blast. This yo-yo sports a diameter of 55.3 millimeters, a width of 45 millimeters, and it weighs 66.2 grams. Yo-Yo Expert lists the gap width of this yo-yo as 4.4 millimeters, and a rather unusual 7 millimeter long axle. Finally, this yo-yo uses a size C bearing and 19 millimeter pads. The ones that came stock with the yo-yo have been working wonderfully so far without any need of replacing the stock pads or maintaining the bearing. Now, to talk about the design of this yo-yo. Budget metal unresponsive yo-yos are a subsector of the yo-yo market that is highly competitive nowadays, as we live in what is the best era for yo-yo when it comes to yo-yo accessibility. Standard budget yo-yo pricing has reduced from $45 in the 2014 to 2015 era, established mostly by Yo-Yo Factory, to $30 to $35 in recent years. Back then, if you were on a budget, your options were a bit limited when it came down to categories. You either picked up a plastic yo-yo or an undersized metal yo-yo. If you wanted a full-sized option, you had Magic Yo-Yo, who had been offering budget yo-yos since as early as 2010. But if you really wanted something less budget-looking and feeling from a more established brand, Bosun and Yo-Yo Officer got you covered, who had been offering budget yo-yos in the $30 to $35 price range as early as 2013. Bosun has had quotable models such as the 3S Vansword, the Easy Trick, and the Vanquish, and Yo-Yo Officer had the super popular Kilter series, along with a couple others. But a new price tier doesn't get established until bigger, more relevant brands start playing into it. Maybe in retrospect, it is a bit surprising, but it took until 2015 for Top Yo to release the first iteration of the Colossus, and until 2018 for C3 Yo-Yo Design to release a full-size budget metal option in the $30 to $35 price range, which would come to be the Level 6. At this time, neither Duncan nor Yo-Yo Factory had a true full-size budget option in this lower price range, like the brands mentioned earlier. It took until 2016 for Yo-Yo Factory to release the new version of the Boss, which was still an undersized yo-yo, and Duncan at this time was still catching up to the internal normalization of bearing and pads. No major breakouts happened until 2019. This is the year C3 Yo-Yo Design will release what will become one of the most highly recommended budget yo-yos in the online yo-yo spaces, the Cyber Crash. With the Cyber Crash, the Yotrix Solstices, along with the eventual release of the Lavetine in 2021 and the subsequent iterations of the Colossus and other offerings from Top Yo, would be the ones that will come to consolidate the sector of the yo-yo market we identify as budget metal yo-yos as we currently know it today. But you might be asking yourself, why is this any relevant for the review of this yo-yo at all? Well, for one main reason. The shortcut is as good as all these yo-yos I have mentioned in the price category so far, while bringing certain aspects of design and finish quality that set it apart from its contenders. The budget metal yo-yo market might have just got one of its best contenders yet, and in a subsector of the market that sees advancement so rarely, in my opinion, this is a major thing. The shortcut isn't doing something extremely wild or super different from other options as the Cyber Crash or the Lavetine, as they are all modern performance unresponsive yo-yos, but the quality added on top of a yo-yo that's already as good as the ones mentioned already definitely is enough to set it apart. Aesthetically, the shortcut looks like if you were to mesh together a ray tracer and a magpie. Right off the bat, it is apparent how the shortcut sports a design that has care and time put into it in the visuals department, with its multiple lines, cuts and profile inflection points. Compared to the designs present in the Cybercrash and Levantine that might be a little bit more straightforward, the shortcut looks like it belongs along the likes of Yoyos by brands like Unparalleled or Turning Point. To talk about the vibe condition of this Yoyo, I am happy to report that this Yoyo does not present any vibe condition that will hinder its playability at all. Now, to talk about the binds and the nature of the response of the shortcut. Binds are very average on the shortcut. It has a successful gap width design, but I presume that YoyoFriends use cheaper stock pads compared to what you will find in Yoyos like the Peregrine, for example. Still, the shortcut binds nicely without any weird behaviors, and it's definitely designed for fat string in my experience. Now, to talk about the playfeel of the shortcut. The shortcut is quick and sporty, definitely geared towards performance and maneuverability. This Yoyo plays much faster than what its weight suggests. Compared to the Cybercrash and Levantine, the shortcut is not as rim-weighted as its contenders, but its more relaxed weight distribution paired with how open its profile is, offers a comparable amount of stability while feeling a bit more pleasant to throw and play with. The shortcut can handle a multiple span of trick pacings very well, performing generally similar going slow to going fast and everything in between. This is a Yoyo that covers a big number of bases, which is ideal for a budget Yoyo option in my opinion. The shortcut has a very comfortable throw and catch, although some catches at weird angles can feel a little bit sharp due to how relatively thin the step in the face of the rim is. Now, to talk about the performance of this Yoyo. For grinds, the shortcut has above average finger grind performance due to its open, flared out profile. Thumb grinds are fairly doable on this Yoyo, but maintaining them might not be as easy as something with a dedicated inner ring grind, which the shortcut doesn't have. Now for regions. This Yoyo has average regen performance. It will regen as good as your technique allows it to, since you get basically no help from its profile for smooth or easy regions. After all, you can regen any Yoyo, so if you have solid regions already, this Yoyo shouldn't make them any more difficult at all. Now for rejection tricks. The shortcut has very average rejection performance, as good as you can get out of a Yoyo that is not organic, I would say. The step from the ring down to the response does help move the string on rejection tricks, making them generally easy to perform with appropriate technique. Now for stressing tricks. Speed combos and stressing tricks are easily achievable on the shortcut. This Yoyo is fairly stable under most circumstances, but sloppy technique and extremely spin-demanding tricks might take a toll on its stability for sure. Now, for the catchability of the shortcut. I am happy to report that virtually the entire width of this Yoyo is active catch zone, and this Yoyo is as catchable as 45mm can be. I find myself having no trouble landing slacks, whips and lacerations on this Yoyo. Now for finger spins, which is an aspect of a Yoyo that I do not talk about ever at all. The shortcut has a flat cup with an engraving with no fingerspin centric design elements on it, but the engraving is so high resolution and so smooth that it virtually does not interfere with fingerspins at all, so you can do them with ease on the shortcut. Now to talk about my negative points on this Yoyo. There is one aspect about the shortcut I do find a bit problematic. The shortcut uses a very non-standard Yoyo axle length. the axle is still an M4 axle, but it is 7mm long. This could be a potential issue because no Yoyo stores sells 7mm axle replacements, not even YoyoFriends themselves. The most standard Yoyo axle sizes are either 8mm or 10mm, and this is what Yoyo stores and brands have available. In the case of you stripping or losing an axle, you will not be able to find a replacement on a Yoyo dedicated store, and you will have to buy an M4 7mm groove set screw from a hardware store. I tested to see if a much more standard 8mm axle will fit the shortcut, and this axle is sadly incompatible with this Yoyo. This issue might not be a big deal, since the replacement axles can indeed be found, but it really doesn't help when you also consider the fact that the shortcut is machined from 6061 aluminum. The particularly short axle length paired with the slightly softer aluminum alloy may make the shortcut potentially more prone to stripping due to damage from hard dings. And if that ever happens and you need a new axle, the axles are going to be harder to find due to their non-standard length. I wish this issue was not present on the shortcut, since standardized parts and internals make it easier to give the Yoyo the potential maintenance it might need at some point. Now for my final comments about the shortcut. This Yoyo is a serious contender in the budget metal Yoyo section of the market. At $30 for solid colors, it offers some of the best price to performance ratios I have ever seen. Even when it uses a non-standard axle length, that potential issue is far outweighed by the massive amount of positive aspects this Yoyo has. Congratulations to YoyoFriends for entering into the budget Yoyo market with such an extremely high quality Yoyo. And this has been my review of the YoyoFriends shortcut. Thank you so much for watching.